Okay, so in statistics, we have a few different measures of center that we can use to find kind of the average of the data points or an overall number that best represents the data set we're looking at. One of those is called the mean, and it is, again, one measure of center we can use to compare data. It can be thought of as determining the fair share. So if every data point was totaled up and then evenly divvied out, it'd be what everyone would get. So how is it calculated? We find the sum of the data and divide by the total amount of data points. So basically, add it all up and divide by how many data points there are. Let's take a look at this dot plot of the height of some basketball players in inches. We can see that on a dot plot, there are dots marked as data points. So we can interpret this as if we look at all the orange dots, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 dots, meaning there are 16 players that had their heights taken and plotted on this dot plot. And they're all varying in heights. So if we wanted to find the mean or the average height of these basketball players, right here is a list of the heights, which is sometimes helpful to do off of a dot plot. Okay, it's just listed out. And so right here, the someone is 73 inches, so we can see it in the list. There's one that's 75, we can see it in the list. Okay, and so on. There are two orange dots on the dot plot at 78 inches, so we can see that there are two 78s in the list. So we're taking the data from the dot plot and just listing it out. You don't have to do this. I think it's just a little bit helpful to just get an overall list of every data point. And then we can see that we, again, use a calculator. Calculator is our friend. We add up all of the heights, and the sum of the heights is 1,276. And then once we have the sum, we divide it by the 16 players. So 1,276 divided by 16 equals 79 and 75 hundredths inches, or about 80 inches is the average height of the basketball players. So again, we add the data up, and we divide by however many data points there are. That is how we calculate the mean or the average or the fair share of the data. And it's always a good idea to ask ourselves, does this make sense? Could we say that these basketball players on average are about 80 inches? We can. It falls kind of there in the middle. If we got something like 72 as our average, we should question that, right? It's not really representative of the data. Likewise, if we got a number when we calculated it and it turned out to be like 95 inches, would that best represent the average heights of these basketball players? Not really. Okay, so on the next couple of slides, you're going to have a chance to, again, practice calculating the mean of some data, and you may use a calculator. Just when you work things out, it's best to show your work, just like I did here at the bottom of the slide. That way you're showing others that you know how to calculate it, even though the calculator is the tool that you're using to do it.